Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 80A, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Started with a vision, now I'm deep in the game. Cardano's my fortress, 80A's my flame. Solana's out there, but I'm not impressed. Smart contracts on Cardano, I'm truly blessed. 12 wallets loaded, yeah, I'm diversified. Crypto life's a hustle and I'm fully energized. While they chase the hype, I'm staking my way. Cardano's the truth, I'm here to stay. Yeah, got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 80A, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Solana's got speed, but it trips and it falls. Cardano's my rock, answering all my calls. Wallets on wallets, but I'm picky with chains. Solana's uninvited, I'm dodging the flames. Eight in my veins, I'm a blockchain believer. Building my empire, no room for a thief. Steady with the gains, watch my profits ignite. Cardano's my vision, I'm owning the night. Yeah. So if you're on
What is up, GM? How we doing?
Doing good. I had my coffee about an hour ago, so I'm ready.
Same. I'm throughout the day I tend to double fist pullers. These are like the cheap man's LaCroix or whatever.
Is that supposed to be sparkling water, right?
Yeah, it's seltzer. Is that a regular thing or is that just a me thing?
I think it's regular, at least in my family. I don't drink it personally.
Yeah, I love it, man. Honestly, it's just like water gets super, super boring. So I don't know. Shout out people coming in. Dude, what's up? Yo, Simba. Let's go.
Thanks for coming. Another great live stream today. And we're also having great weather. So I'm feeling pumped today, to be honest.
Not only great weather, we're having great Bitcoin weather, man. Pumpy.
Is it 100K yet?
Yeah, it's 101, I think, right?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, 101. What do you think? Top last, or we still got room to run?
I don't know. I mean, it could have the chart's been teasing me for a while, so we could do anything.
Yeah, dude, everyone's gonna turn their miners back on. It's gonna be nuts. Yeah, honestly, I think everyone's gonna put their miners back on because not only is it the price is good, but with this tariff shit, people are moving to commodities like crazy. So I think you're a lot of competition.
So those people that have the miners turned off, when they turn them back on, is that supposed to affect the price in any way, or what's going to go on, or what's going to happen there?
Yeah, essentially what happens is it makes the network more competitive. So like, let's say you doubled your machines, just to randomly say, like overnight, we doubled Bitcoin hash, then you would be producing a block on average every 5 minutes. I'm gonna wipe off my screen, by the way. So because of that, the network itself has protocol parameters to make it harder. So basically you get twice as much hash power in the network, then you mine half as many blocks because they want to keep it every 10 minutes.
I see.
Yeah. So anyway, it's interesting for us, right? Because then if we see a lot of competition, hypothetically, like the increase in price should offset the reduction in mining. But, you know, that's one of the things people track over time, hash price.
Well, your cost is pretty low in terms of whatever, right? So it's not a huge concern anyway.
Yeah, I think we're mining at like 40 or 45,000 about. So
not bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
GM,
pretty good. Shout out to everyone joining us. I see 20, 30 people joining. So GM, dude, why me? GM, no one.
Around, share with a friend. We're just here chilling. Market's going up and down, and we just talk about whatever.
Yeah. It's been busy. Yeah, it's been like, and I've been trying to build some new stuff for the group. So I haven't been as active in Twitter Spaces recently. I feel kind of bad about that. Also, my wife was on night shift. So
on night shift, you said?
Yeah.
You mind, like, you mind sharing what she does, or is
Oh
that?
yeah. No, we're doxxed. I mean, I'm trying to even. I wonder if they're. You can always find stuff about people, but yeah, she's a doctor. So
Doctor?
but she's in residency. So bad out. Like, so for people who aren't from the US, by the way, so the way it works is in America, you're 18, you go to 4 years of college, you go to 4 years of med school, then you go to 3 years at least of a residency where they basically pay you 50 grand a year if you're lucky. And then you become a doctor. So the absolute earliest you can become a doctor in America is like 28 or 29. And we're a little bit older because she took some time off.
I considered doing that. I actually went to school, to become a doctor. I majored in biology for that reason.
Really?
And then eventually I was just like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna do something else.
You just like you didn't like blood or something? What's the deal?
No, I went to the military and I got certified as a medic, and I did that, and I found out I didn't like it too much.
I didn't know you were Army.
Yeah, I was in the Army.
You were Army? Nice. How many years did you serve?
I served 6 years.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, there's a lot of veterans in the crypto space. Is that how you got into it or no?
What, you mean like straight from the military to here, or?
Well, did other veterans tell you? I feel like the veterans talk about it a lot.
Oh, well, actually, my mom, she's the one that nudged me into enlisting.
No, I mean into crypto. Did vets get you involved in crypto?
Oh, no, it was just me. Actually, it was my dad. He was trading ADA when it was like
oh, nice.
In the
when it was how much?
It was like 80 cents in 2021.
Oh, 80. Okay.
Yeah, like around January, I think. And I saw him trading. He's like, yo, you should get into it. And I was like, all right. And I was like, no, it's a scam. And then I checked it out a month later. I saw I looked at some of the documentation on the Cardano Foundation website, and I decided to dive in. And I bought ADA and I staked it in Daedalus, and that's it.
That's crazy. Yeah, and I agree with Dunk. Thank you for your service. It's wonderful. Love our vets. Yeah, man. I would have I was always obsessed with kind of that like military physique and like all the workouts they do and stuff. But I don't know. I just went straight through college, and then I was like, okay, now I got to get into tech industry. They need some sort of like national service where you can get like a good paying tech job, but serve the military after you graduate. Actually, a lot of people in my class went to like NSA or CIA after they graduated, and that was
happened, I guess.
Yeah.
You could do like a cybersecurity in the military, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Well, in Israel, it's huge. Like the 8200 or whatever. There's some unit which is like full of startup founders because they're all military intelligence, and then they basically go found their companies afterwards. So
nice.
Yeah. Well, all right. We got almost 40 people in here. Shout out everyone in here. Tell your friends, tell your family, get them on board the Tangz train. But yeah, let's dive in, man. Markets are pumping. What else we got going on? Where you want to start?
So we saw, so let's start with the pump, I guess. We saw 100K last night, or was that this morning?
100 what?
100K Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, it's 101 right now. I'm checking to see if some of my.
Because I saw it go to 96K last night, I think. And
yep.
What do you think that is? I haven't really checked too deep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'm just like speculating. Obviously, I don't know anything, but it might be kind of like a flight to safety, like Bitcoin. Because the other thing I've noticed too is like Bitcoin has crazy outperformed the other ones. Like we obviously, like, again, if you're new here, most people know us, but we're miners as part of this sort of we'll call it creator collective, right? So we have a creator collective, we have minting tools, mining tools, mobile tools, and like for the mining portion, you can mine Litecoin, you can mine Dogecoin, you can mine Caspa, and you can mine Alio, but there's been no real bounce on those. Like the only altcoin I've seen bouncing is I think Sui's doing pretty well. But like I think it's Bitcoin dominance, man. What do you think?
So it's not altcoin season.
Not yet.
It's like I think dominance is sitting at 64% last time I checked.
Is it really? That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't a clue. I guess I don't know if I have a guess, but it seems to me that lately it's been, I think Bitcoin hasn't really been correlated to the traditional market, it seems.
Yeah, that's, which is actually a sign more it's being treated like gold in the short term. But man, look at that. Look at that. So this was so if we look back, so altcoin season started what? Like pandemic, right? So you have this massive right here where Bitcoin goes from 63 dominance all the way down to 44 dominance, right?
Under 50%. Wow.
Yeah, it went down like crazy. And then if you go back, basically since the start of like quote unquote the last recovery or bull, it's been all Bitcoin, man. I mean, Ethereum has fucking fallen off a cliff. Wow. Look at that shit.
You said Ethereum, right?
Yeah, Ethereum fell off a cliff. I owned some Ethereum back in the day. I obviously like what they do, but I don't anymore.
What's Ethereum at? Is that 7% or 10%?
Right now it's 7%, but at its peak for dominance, it was, let's see, peak for dominance was like 30%, but that was back in 2017, probably around the time of like the altcoin ICOs, right? Because Cardano was 2017. Who wants Ethan?
It's funny because I told, so I have someone on the outside that I'm teaching how to use some of these lending protocols, and I told her to just put some money into Bitcoin, ETH, and ADA, and she's still accumulating all three of those no matter what happens. So it's going to be an interesting ride.
Well, it is, and it's interesting too because I can't validate this empirically, but like, so I was around during the ETH merge, which was right around 2022.
Right.
And I feel like since the merge, it has just fallen off a cliff. Like I've heard a lot of really intelligent people talk about how they think that one potential fall for crypto and the reason altcoins haven't recovered is that people feel that proof of stake is not a good security model. And so that's been kind of interesting to think about, is like, has the switch to proof of stake in most of these altcoins really hindered their recovery?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see 20 years from now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's definitely environmental concerns with proof of work, but like, more secure than an oligopoly. Are we going to go there? Are we going to go there?
It's been I've been looking at I've been looking at all the conversations about sort of the recent thing. I mean, like it's funny because when you're like in the know, and then you go into a space where nobody knows what you're talking about, like I did last night, I'm like, how big of a deal is it really? And I'm talking about what Charles posted about sort of
Wait, so what space were you in last night?
I was in a small space with Dong, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, you guys don't know?" Well, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of it? What was your take in the Dong space?
I sort of just gave my report because I'm still trying to understand like the history of the whole thing with the ADA vouchers and whether they're claimed or unclaimed or not, and whether IOG claimed, whether they did what they said or not. I mean, it's all still a bit confusing to me, to be honest. So still trying to understand. But it seems to me that there was a lot of miscommunication, perhaps, on what's really going on. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's pull up the tweet here because and again, we take no sides in this. We do not want to be sued. We do not encourage any slander or libel. We're just
giving our opinions.
Giving our opinions. Eager commentators. Honestly, my pretty uninformed opinions. Like, I think I read. All right, so let's start here. So I'm gonna try to share this up. So for anyone who I love like I think it was Bone or Epoch used to have a meme that was like, "Hey babe, wake up! New Cardano drama just dropped." So let's go here. So Masato Alexander, who used to be known as Monad. I've actually I haven't met him in person, but I've done some phone calls with him. It's an interesting dude. Interesting. But he put out this long thread, which if you haven't read it, go read it. But basically saying, well, what does it say, Opti? Do you think he accused IOG of stealing funds?
I don't. I think what he said is No, I don't think he said that. What he did say is that that they used the unclaimed ADA vouchers for their own, benefit or whatever. I think that's what he said. I don't think he made claims of stealing, though, if I read it correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. I mean, honestly, I took it as like he was basically saying that, there are on-chain transactions, like the Shelley era reorganized a bunch of UTXOs from the ICO into a controlled wallet. And then they use what's called a mirror transaction, which is usually for staking and other things for treasury wallets. He basically used a mirror transaction to withdraw 318 million or some amount of ADA to wallets that were under IOG's control, which I thought was interesting. But then Charles says, you keep lying to people. The ADA vouchers became unspendable after the hard fork. They were rolled into a custodial account controlled by the TGE that then continued redemptions for 3 more years to distribute the Genesis funds to the original buyers. If you continue to imply that IO stole funds, I will sue you. This is my last warning. Code is law, Charles. All right, I'll send a cease and desist letter and begin the process. And then, of course, a bunch of memes because it's Twitter.
Yeah. Crazy how this happens in the open.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. I mean, I've definitely gotten into it in the open with people, but this one seemed pretty testy. I mean, my take on it is like, I agree with you. I don't know that there's really like, again, we don't really know shit from shit, but like, it doesn't feel like there's there's definitely a lot of harsh language. There's like implications that someone's doing wrong. And like, I jokingly tweeted like, oh, treasury grift, but like, there's nobody's saying like, oh, here's the fraud that was committed. It's just kind of like a lack of transparency. We just, people just want to know if the TGE entity withdrew vouchers off chain, where's the auditable funds? So then we should, to be fair, what Charles did say in a bit of a longer tweet was,
wait, so does the TGE have its own wallet then? Is that I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know how this TGE stuff works, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the gist of it, as I understand it, is that, and by the way, let me, wow, he's got a lot of posts here. So we'll talk about what he said in response in a sec. But so the way I understand it, and I could be wrong, but I'm just, this is how it would traditionally work, is like the ICO all happened in Japan. So they set up a legal entity in Japan, which they call the token generation entity. That entity basically generates out of thin air a certain amount of ADA tokens. And then they get people to pay via cash, check, Bitcoin, whatever. I think it was all Bitcoin, but like I'm sure there was cash and then an intermediary and stuff like that. They get people to pay to retrieve tokens in the future. So in exchange for paying, whatever their mechanism of paying was, my assumption is there was some kind of sales contract that says, okay, I paid this, I now have a voucher, and then at this date, I can redeem the voucher for ADA. And my guess is why they did this is like, you don't want people just buying the coins and dumping them. You would essentially want to give like a fully distributed, locked up, here are the initial investors, and then after a year, 2 years, 3 years, you can start the redemption process, right? So I think that's kind of what happened as I understand it. And then, so to be fair to Charles came out and said, for all those dogpiling on IOG about the unclaimed vouchers, the TGE entity is in the last stages of the redemption process. And now we're talking about 8 years after ICO. The final buyer is nearly through with this claim. After this process has concluded, the final act of the TGE will be to issue an externally audited report on the entire crowd sale and the redemption history to the founding entities and Intersect. It will then begin the process of shutting down. I will remind everyone, no report has been published because the redemption process has been ongoing since the protocol launched in 2017. This process required the TGE to wait 7 years to recall unclaimed ADA. Also, Attain, the sole vendor of ADA vouchers, went out of business, and the CF, despite auditing the sale under their original leadership, refused to take over the redemption process. I will remind everyone that 99.8% of all vouchers sold were redeemed by their original process buyers.
The vast majority.
Yeah, so it seems, right? I think the question then is like, you know, the 318 million that were unclaimed, right? So let's do some math. Like, let's see if we can use Grok in real time. Grok, what is 300 million ADA if ADA ICO'd at $0.0025?
Well, that's handy.
So 750 grand. So if Charles and Co, like, okay, like let's say that represents 0.2% of all ADA sold in the ICO.
Rocking it live. Let's go.
Yeah, raise. So the ICO raise. So does anyone know how much? If you know how much the ICO actually raised, let me know, because I'd be curious.
I thought the last time I remember, I think it raised 60 million, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. No clue. You could also do like a deep search if you can't find it.
Okay, 60. Yeah, 60 million. Okay, great. So that means, so if 60 million was raised and ADA was 0.0025 US dollars, then how much ADA is 300 million as a percentage of the total initial issuance? So calculate, yeah, it's Grok's going, man. I love AI. It's all. Okay, so 300 million ADA represents 1.25% of the total issuance of ADA sold in the ICO. So if Charles is correct, so let's say that like 80% of that was redeemed after Charles did the MIR. So what is, so if 0.2% was left over from the initial ADA ICO, how much ADA is that? And what would it be worth if ADA were, will be charitable? 90 cents, 75 cents.
Yep. That's cool.
So Grok is saying there was 48 million ADA that wasn't redeemed. That's $36 million. And I think so like, again, this is where like auditing would definitely help. And I'm, you know, we're not saying any, we're just throwing numbers out. This is all just bullshit speculation. But like, the interesting thing is, you know, if 36 million was used to seed Intersect for like 7, if I use $7 million to seed Intersect, what would be left over for me to use? I mean, you're talking about, my guess is $30 million, right? So like, yeah, 29. I mean, again, it's not nothing, but like, that's where I think you know, you and I have talked about is we don't really know what's like in the audited report, but like, that's where these audits help with like, oh, he converted here, he did this, he withdrew that, you know? Yeah.
So I suppose that's what's going to happen with whatever process they're going through, including the report. I mean, if it makes it more transparent, I don't know.
You would think.
So yeah, so 29 million is the number.
Well, it's a
Sort of.
speculated potential,
Speculation, guys.
unfounded.
We're just brainstorming here.
I mean, if he top blasted that, could be 100 million.
Could be.
Could buy a few Blackhawks with that money.
You should top blast it for my sake, just put in, $50 million in one transaction, it's like
Be sick. No,
Yeah.
you want to top blast $50 million worth of JPEGs on Levy or something. You're the lending king.
That is true. He should definitely do that. I'd be rich.
Yeah, by the way, shout out Opti. If you haven't gotten a chance yet, go check out his posts. Opti, I don't know how any of this stuff works, but you've been talking about crypto and DeFi and like some cool protocols. So I've found your content really engaging, man.
Yeah, I talk a lot about lending and stuff. So and sometimes I'll put a picture of a delicious burger or a cup of beer.
Why do you have a favorite spot or a favorite chain?
Yeah, so for burgers, I love this place called Silver Diner, and
Nice.
for beer, I like this place called Caboose Commons, which is probably a 5-minute drive from where I am. It's not far, or a
Nice.
40-minute walk if I'm really feeling it.
Wow, that is a long walk. I wouldn't do that. For me, if you're in Kansas City, Best Burger, BRGR, I would say, or Nick and Jake's has a dope burger. There's a lot of like good South Suburb stuff. There's stuff on the north side too, but like, I mean, obviously if you come to Kansas City, do barbecue instead. But
Yeah, I'm a fan of great burgers, like especially the more calories the better, especially after I go for a run.
well, you're a good runner. I've been doing no carb, which has been killing me, but I've been doing no carb for like a week. But anyway, well, that's the latest Cardano drama. What do you think, Opti? Where are we heading for Cardano?
I think Cardano as a protocol will be fine long term. You could say that this is growing pains, and people are asking questions that haven't been answered for a while. And yeah, I guess short term it's not a good look from the outside, and for the community, I guess it stresses people out. But I think long term will be all right. That's what I tend to believe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I love, like, again, you've got to kind of separate the person from the protocol, which, in fairness to Charles, like he's tried to do. I have some gripes with how the treasury is giving money, which is probably made worse by the fact that like we can never seem to get stuff from Catalyst. But yeah, I mean, I think the UTXO model is great. I'm a little mixed on proof of stake. I'm more recently in a proof of work. I obviously love smart contracts and then so
yeah.
Did you know Cardano has NFTs?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, now you know. Cardano has NFTs. Oh,
Cool.
man.
Well, let's see. We got 84 people in here. Thanks for coming. We're in about 30 minutes. We might, I don't know. I mean, so like the main topic of today is is in the title, the breakup. But in the meantime, thanks for coming. Share this with a friend. And this is also recorded too. It's a live stream, right? So you can come back and listen to it if you couldn't attend. But thanks for coming. So should we bring up the next thing then?
Yeah, we should bring up the with a heavy heart.
Heavy heart, yes.
With a heavy heart. So y'all can. I encourage you to read more about this in the Discord, and obviously, like we'll walk you through it here, but just kind of to be totally transparent. About a month ago, I think even more than a month ago. I mean, we started working together with Snickies like 2 or 3 months ago, and in the last month, I've gotten to know the folks over there, JK, Bit, Ty. I really admire what they're doing. I still hold the Sneckies, but in the last month of negotiation, it became clear that the acquisition wasn't going to work. We tried discussing some alternative structures, some, maybe a partnership, maybe something else. Like, I think where both where the market is, right? We have to acknowledge that like this is a savage NFT market, right? I mean, fucking brutal, even from ones I've been in. So the NFT market has made it really, really stressful. But
yeah,
I think even more than that, just like, it as it was defined, it wasn't going to really be a great fit because truly what makes, and this is what I was excited for, but I think it also made it hard, was like Sneckies is very IP driven, right?
Absolutely.
Very IP driven. It's not a utility project per, I'm sort of speaking on how I see it. So when we kind of investigated acquiring and some of the other alignment, we couldn't really come to terms. It wasn't a price issue. The guys there are great. We're committed to helping them, obviously, as friends and people who want to see that project succeed, as well as we hope they want to see our project succeed. But yeah, at the time being, there will be no acquisition of Sneckies, sadly.
Well, there you go. I still think, just even if you're not talking about, if you're talking about, as you said, the Sneckies as an IP, it's still, I want to see that succeed. Honestly, it's great. A lot of people love it. I love it too. So
great IP. Honestly, like I'm always very impressed with what those guys come up with. The Sneck, I mean, obviously Sneck listing on Kraken is huge, right? And they're paving the way in a way that's like pretty insane. So shout out to Goofy. But yeah, I mean, look, they're different projects, right? So it's tough, man. I really hope they made a lot of public announcements about the challenges they're having with their mining suppliers. They're having a lot of challenges on a legal front as well, it sounds like. And I really wanted to kind of bundle that all up and make it work and supercharge it, but didn't make sense at this point.
Five. I hope like one.
I have one. Yeah.
The coffee one, which is my favorite. I only bought that for the trait.
Yeah, I have the I think I have a paddle with the wild tangs on it. Chambers sold me that one.
It has wild tangs like on as a trait.
Yeah, they did tribute artwork to different like prominent Cardano collections.
Yeah, so, they have a little sappy trait too. I saw that.
Yeah. The pickleball has a few of them in there. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough project. And like Dunk said, he was talking about kind of the payouts and stuff. As we know, and as I wake up every day and stress about, running miners is really fucking hard. Really fucking hard. And getting the electricity right, getting the payouts right, stressing about downtime, crediting electricity when you need to. I mean, it's brutal. It's just brutal. And so I've been really pleased with how we performed initially, but it's only been 4 months for us, right? We gotta stand the test of time. We gotta keep trucking on this. So we're now up to over 200 a day. I mean, that'll put us closer to $7,000 this month. But that's hard to maintain. That's really hard to maintain. It requires a real, a full-time eye to it. And I think that's where they want to be, but they're not there yet.
Well, shout out to the Sneckies. I mean, I hope it goes well. I still got mine.
Yeah, me too. I still got mine. I love that IP.
It's nice.
Where's your, you can be the voice. All right. Opti's turn to be the voice of FUD.
The voice of FUD.
Yeah. What's the FUD on this deal?
On the Sneckies, you mean?
Yeah. On us backing out. Does this mean we're not going to make it?
No, I think Tangz is fine. It's been doing all right. It's been trucking. I have no FUD to talk about, honestly. It's been trucking since before like S2 season 2. It's been there. And since season 2, it's still here. It has. I don't see us disappearing.
No, we won't slow down. It's a grind for sure. And I think there's a lot of stuff coming that we're building. So being done with the sale, being back in building mode. And there are still, we did quite a few private sales. I see 90 people here now, almost 100. If you want to get in on Tangz Series 2, if you want to start earning mining, right? We're expanding the capacity. We're mining almost $7,000 a month in crypto, right? There are going to be opportunities to expand for sure. But man, it's like you said, it's a grind. So shout out Dunk. I came just for the app. Oh, you and I did the same thing. I came just for the app, and the mining is just the cherry on top. I thought you came because I'm so handsome. What
No,
the hell?
No, the project is succeeding because I came.
That's true. That's true. Look at Opti's face. We couldn't do without that, Opti.
No, that's fire. No, I actually thought of Tangz exactly how Dunkman is saying. Because especially because mining is more of a recent thing for Wild Tanks.
It is, yeah.
It sort of helps it stay. I suppose it just helps it stay sustainable or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of that, like, a lot of that goes to kind of the long term of it. I think if you see the brands that stick around, you're gonna, if you see the brands that stick around, you're gonna find more ways to sustainability, more ways than one. I love mining, obviously. Personally, I am way over allocated in mining, but yeah, there's gonna be a lot of things we build in the coming months. So if you have ideas for what to build, let us know. Highlighting what's up, RTB, what's up, fellas, GM, RTB with the Snecky. I love the PFP.
Is that a rare Snecky?
I feel like it's the #1 or something. Like, I feel like because he's fake goofy in the Snecky Discord.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Because I actually thought that was goof for a second. But yeah, he's fake goof in the Snecky's Discord.
Yeah, thanks for coming, RTB. We're just shooting the shit. We talked about the recent development and stuff. Oh yeah, it's rank 1. There you go.
Yeah.
We talked.
How much you pay for that, RTB? Drop it in chat. Oh, he's Goofy Crisp 2.0. Yeah.
If he minted that, I would be surprised, but also I'd be legendary.
That would be legendary. Let's see what he says.
We're lucky.
Oh wow, nice.
You dropped the bag in that one.
Look at that. Look at that bag. I've done that once, I think, and ADA was 30 cents. So I was like, yeah. No,
the most I dropped on an NFT was, I think, nearly 3K when ADA was like $1. I think so. Yeah.
I think in US dollars, that's more than I've done, because I've done 8K ADA, but I think it was 30 cents or 40 cents. So it was around there. Yeah, 2 or 3 grand on a JPEG, man. Although I've sold, actually, the one I did well on was because I was an early subscriber on Bitcoin. I basically sold a bunch of the rune stones and dog that I got. And I used that to fund Tangz last year, actually. That was a good one.
That must have been a really good sale then. That's crazy. Yeah,
I think I sold, honestly, I think between the two, I netted almost like 13K. Okay. Yeah, and I sold it at like Pico top too, because I was like, I don't know how long these things are going to hang around. I had seen at that point, right? It was 2024, so I'd seen Cardano shit come and go.
One day I'll make a sale like that.
Yeah, I hope so. I see these like crazy legendary sales, and I'm like, Jesus, man, I wish I was that good a trader. Okay, so he's with us. RTB's with us, 3 to 4K. Yeah, I think after 3 to 4K, your loved ones start to worry about you a little bit. So,
and I still have the NFTs. I haven't no point in dumping it.
I know. I think the 8K was on a rabbit, which I still love. I would never sell it anyway, but I mean, I listed it for something stupid, I'm sure, but I just bought that because I love the art. So let's go back in time to mint a base C, sell the top. I know, man. I know. I don't know. I don't know if that time will come back. I love NFTs, man, but it's time and a place for everything.
It'll come back, but in a different way. It's not going to be like it was in the NFT boom or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's going to be more like what you're doing, or it's going to be more like fundamental in the background type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so what we got coming up? Let's do a preview out for the next few weeks, Opti. I know we're into May here. We're on our 10th live stream. Where's the do we have a confetti? We need like sometimes they have like emoji reactions. Do they have that on this thing?
I don't know. Good settings. I'm afraid I'm gonna click out on the studio or do something funny.
I know. Dunkman. Yes, we are all holding our NFTs to 0. The comments are being sorted super strangely, by the way.
It doesn't pop up in order.
It's by person right now. That's fucking weird.
Oh, I see.
Let's see. Can we get a banner? No. Media assets.
Just
Well,
100 people.
background music. We'll dance. This is terrible. This is our 10th episode dance.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah, man. I mean, what we got coming up. So obviously we're trying to do this every week. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. Life gets in the way. You know what I'm most excited for, Opti, in the next few weeks, other than me and you kicking it. Let's see if Bitcoin can hold its levels. Let's talk more about mining. But now that we have 100 people, we want to hear from you. Okay. So here's what I will say, right? We have plans for things to build. That mobile app that we got, I'm thinking about a few things for it, right? AI is changing the game. So now the way I can build apps, deploy things, it's way faster. There's a potential in order to improve the performance that we just write it in Flutter, TBD. But I think the bigger thing is like, we know things we're missing. We need the ability to mint from your phone. We need better wallet support, deeper integrations. It's all shit that I have coming and planned out. But what I'm excited for in the next 2-3 weeks, and I better come back with some feedback, is tell me what you want to see built, because that's where we started. That's where we went to. That's what helped us with mining. People started suggesting it. I want to hear from you guys. So come with the ideas. 103 people. I know you guys can do it. It's Cardano. Is it Bitcoin? Is it Dogecoin? Is it mining? Is it minting? What are we gonna do? So that is my 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, what I'm excited for. Opti, what are you pumped for?
I don't know. I'm just pumped, to eat more burgers, to be honest. I'm gonna eat a big burger today. No, but I'm also pumped. I mean, just if we're talking about, like the operation for wild things, like, the mine, I'm pumped for that. It's going along fine. And the second thing I'm pumped for is just to write more content for you guys. That's it, really. I mean, there's even though people think that there's like not too much going on in Cardano or even outside, there's actually a lot going on. So there's always something to write. There's always a video to edit or something else. I'm just pumped, to do that in general. Yeah.
Shout out to you on the content, man. Like, some of those videos you've put together are fucking awesome. I love seeing them. So I love seeing the artwork. We're getting some throwbacks, man. We're getting people who are saying, I love Series 1. Who's the artist for Series 1? And then I have to say, it's little old me.
I really like Season 1, to be honest. I really do. Especially the all white Tang with, the blunt.
Yeah, maybe we do Series 3 for Chambers and it's just Series 1 all over again. We just make him downgrade back.
Is there actually? I have a question. Is there any plan to do like an upgrade of any sort? Like,
Yeah, so we do need some art upgrades. Yeah, so we got that plan. So for people who haven't been around, like, and they're going to be free. I'm not going to charge. The couple that we haven't done is we still have some one-of-ones that need to get out there. So after the private sale ends, we got some one-of-ones that are going to be drawn. So, lucky holders. I can't upgrade it if you don't have art, so you have to buy Tangz. But like we've got, and shout out to you, Michael. Thank you for the engagement on that, man. I drew those by hand. It was a fucking awesome time. But yeah, no, we got some art to upgrade, man. We got, first off, we got to do the one-of-ones. Timothy Shaw has a one-of-one in the collection, and it's fucking epic, man. So he has 2 more. I don't think either of them were pulled. So we're gonna do a giveaway on those, and we're gonna figure out a creative way to do it. And I want to see you be creative. If you have ideas on how you want to compete for that, things like that, that'd be fun. And then for anyone who hasn't burnt their Series 1s that have been upgraded, wildtangs.com/burn, still up there. What you're gonna need to do is go and burn your Series 1s. And as of some date, I'm going to make anyone who's burned a Series 1 eligible for the fire upgrade. We had Net and Cohen do a custom animated one-of-one Series 2, and it's that Elmo emoji with the fire, and it is fire, man. It's fucking great art. So yeah, man, Opti, that's a great reminder. I'm pumped for the art upgrades as well.
Awesome, sounds good. 108 people in here. Thanks for coming in. We're at 45 minutes. I think this is a good place to end it, unless you had something else, to mention or something.
No, just check in the comments, man. Bring us your feedback. We're coming up. We just had our 3-year anniversary on Twitter. That represents the official 3-year of the project launch, but we're going to have our 3-year anniversary of the mint date, June 15th. So maybe we'll do something special for you guys. Been in the space for 3 years, keep building content. We've got plans for lots of stuff to come. So thanks for joining. And we'll catch you soon.
See you in the next stream.
Peace.
Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 80A, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Started with a vision, now I'm deep in the game. Cardano's my fortress, 80A's my flame. Solana's out there, but I'm not impressed. Smart contracts on Cardano, I'm truly blessed. 12 wallets loaded, yeah, I'm diversified. Crypto life's a hustle and I'm fully energized. Wallet chase a hype, I'm staking my way. Cardano's the truth, I'm here to stay. Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 80A, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Solana's got speed, but it trips and it falls. Cardano's my rock, answering all my calls. Wallets on wallets, but I'm picky with chains. Solana's uninvited, I'm dodging the flames. Ate in my veins, I'm a blockchain believer. Building my empire, no room for a feet. Steady with the gains, watch my profits ignite. Cardano's my vision, I'm owning the night. So if you're on